Yo, what it do, people? What's going on? Welcome back to, of course, the best place on earth, Madden Football. It's been way too long. You know what I mean? It's been too long. I had other things going on, but guess what? I'm back better than ever. Had a lot of stuff to take care of course. You already know I'm a busy man out here, and football is a busy sport. Yo, listen, right? A lot of stuff has happened over the past few months. A lot of stuff has happened over the past few weeks. Yo, but listen to me right now. I'm seeing guys getting diced. I'm seeing coaches getting slated. I'm seeing coaches getting sacked in the morning. I mean, we're waking up in the morning, nothing going on, just getting out of bed, check the phone. Enzo Maresca parting ways with Chelsea. Few days later, man like Ruben Amorim is getting sacked from Manchester United. I mean, this is like Undertaker theme going on. Matter of fact, broski, bro, let me just say this right now. Amorim getting sacked this today. Enzo Maresca getting sacked a few days ago, or parted ways a few days ago. I'm telling you right now, Thursday, come Thursday, you see Arne Slot. He's getting sacked if they lose to Arsenal at the Emirates. He's getting sacked. I don't care if they get battered. I don't care if Liverpool make it a close game. I don't care if it's a 90th minute winner. Arsenal get it. Header by Gabriel Dush. It don't matter, bro. It don't matter. He is getting sacked. He is getting sacked. And this, as a gunner, is what I am going to be playing come Thursday. He is gone. This manager is done. It's over. I mean, actually, it's over, bro. Listen to me, right? Before I really get into anything, let me tell you what I thought about the Ruben Amorim sacking. Actually, the Enzo Maresca sacking. Enzo Maresca getting sacked by Chelsea, not a good look. Not a good look. I rate Enzo Maresca. Anybody that doesn't rate him, trust me, that guy is a good coach. That guy is a good coach. The only thing that was worrying about him was maybe his leadership, trying to get the culture to really be on the same page as him in terms of just, you know, the due diligence off the ball. I thought was poor. It was passive. It was weak. Many times against teams throughout 2025. Matter of fact, Happy New Year. I should have said that earlier. But yeah, games back in 2025, I'm seeing Chelsea lackadaisical on defense, getting caught out man-to-man, getting caught out in the counterattacks. I mean, lazy. I mean, the biggest one for me that really showed what was going on with Chelsea when they were getting caught out was against Sunderland. When they lost to Sunderland in the last minute of the game, I'm seeing two men come back on defense. Caicedo nowhere to be seen. Reece James late to the party. I'm pretty sure the only players that came back on defense was probably, if I can remember, I actually don't even remember that well, but I know for a fact that there's only really a few players rushing back on defense, and there was a minimal 3 players, and they got caught for it. But that's been a continuous cycle for Chelsea. Tactically, Maresca is a top coach. Tactically, he's a top coach. Tactically, he's top, right? In terms of the dynamics of the pitch, the player profiles, good coach, definitely. Got a lot of things going. Got the best of Cole Palmer, got the best of Caicedo, got the best of Enzo Fernandez, who I think is going to be a big miss for him. Like, if anything, if there's one thing I can say about Maresca for sure, is that he got the best of the best players out on that pitch. I mean, he could have gotten better recruitment. I think the Levi Colwill injury was detrimental to their season. I really do think that if they had Levi Colwill, they would have been in a much better position moving forward. But that doesn't change the fact that on defense, you guys are lackadaisical. And that's not saying they don't have good defenders. That's just to say that Chelsea just don't put as much effort off the ball as they do on the ball. And that's the difference between a team like, say, PSG and Chelsea, or Arsenal and Chelsea, or who else is like that? I guess maybe prime Liverpool at certain points. Like, there's a big difference between what you do on the ball and what you do off the ball, but your due diligence, what you do, the due diligence that you put in when you lose the ball. And many times I just see that Chelsea were very passive, and I didn't like to see it because I knew that this was a team that was very good. At a certain point last season, they were only 4 points off the top, right? But then, I mean, Enzo Maresca said it best. They weren't in a title race, and we saw that. So, right, like, I really thought that there was so much more to see with Enzo Maresca, and I think Chelsea made a terrible decision in the long term. And I don't know who they're going to... Oh, they actually do have a new coach. They have Liam Rose Senior. He looks like Matisse Armani, the Chelsea fan. That's a big platform on YouTube. I think, like, honestly, this is a big miss. This is a big miss for Chelsea. And I mean, this is what we've seen. I mean, like, how many coaches are we going to see under Chelsea get sacked or get parted ways or whatever the hell? And they have a good amount of players. They have a lot going for them. And I think it's just a shame. I think it's a shame. So, yeah, I actually had Chelsea get in third place. I don't see that happening no more. To be honest. I don't even know where to put Chelsea now. I had Chelsea get in third place ahead of Manchester City. Now Manchester City are in second place with 6 points off the top behind Arsenal. And yeah, I mean, it's I don't really know what to expect. However, that game against Manchester City, yo, big up the Chelsea, bro. Big up Chelsea. Cannot believe that they got a point after that. First half, I couldn't even bear to witness what I was watching on the pitch, bro. Honestly, I couldn't bear witness. That first half was shocking, was ridiculous. I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. But then the second half, they came in, they kept going. The Manchester City kept going, and they finally got it. But now Manchester United. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I don't know how many times that I have to keep explaining this to my friends and to my people that watch me, bro. Ruben Amorim was a fraud. Ruben Amorim was smoke and mirrors. He is quite literally the worst coach statistically in Manchester United's history. The worst manager since World War II. World War II. We're talking like 80-something years ago. The worst coach since then. That's how bad Ruben Amorim was. Did he get little time? Yeah, he got little time. But he got efficient time. Or he got time. He got a whole year. He got a year, right? I think some of the decisions that he's made this season alone is sackable. Number one, why the hell are you not playing my boy Kobe Mainoo? What's up with that? Why are you not playing Kobe Mainoo? And this is not something to say. Some people say, oh, well, you know, man like Mikel Arteta is not playing Miles Lewis-Skelly and playing Ethan Neri week in, week out. No, bro. This is not the level, dog. I got Man United fans telling me that they're complaining about Yagate. Okay, if Yagate's so bad, then why can't your manager see that Kobe Mainoo can come in and step in? Kobe Mainoo's not a 10, bro. Kobe Mainoo ain't no Bruno Fernandes. And if any manager thinks that Kobe Mainoo is a profile of Bruno Fernandes, you have no clue what you're watching. Don't have a clue, bro. You have no clue. Bruno Fernandes is an all-action player. He's a KDB. He's a Trent at number 10, bro. That is what Bruno Fernandes does. That is who he is. Yeah? Kobe Mainoo ain't that guy. Kobe Mainoo is an 8. Kobe Mainoo is an 8. Look at him in the not the World Cup, the Euros. Gareth Southgate saw a player in that kid. He saw a player in that boy. Eric Ten Hag saw a player in that boy. Telling you. I'm telling you guys, Kobe Manu is not a 10. And if Bruno Fernandes is playing over Kobe Manu because he's a 10, a better 10, bro, there is something going on at that club that I don't understand, because it's so easy to see. It's so easy to see with your own eyes, and it's shocking. That's number one for me. That's just crazy. Yagate playing over Kobe Manu is just ridiculous. Biggest thing for me since day one. Three at the back. What is this 3-4-2-1? It is diabolical. It's terrible. The tactical tweaks that he's made. Actually, he didn't really make any changes until this season. The best free-flowing football I've seen Manchester United play out of his whole tenure at the club was this season, and that was against maybe Newcastle, and that wasn't even with Bruno Fernandes. That wasn't even with Bruno, right? So now you're telling me that that Ruben Amorim, right, said all this hype about I'm the coach of Manchester United, this, that, and the other, and I'm here to be the coach or be the manager. As a matter of fact, he wasn't the manager; he was a coach, by the way. But of course, he does have affiliation with the players, and he has to have a priority as to who he wants to come at the club. Benjamin Sesko, baller. People keep misprofiling this player. Baller player, man. Baller. But he's not going to succeed in this formation, dog. And I feel bad for him. Anybody can see that there is a player in this guy. Arsenal should have gotten Benjamin Sesko. Honestly, they should have got Benjamin Sesko, but his demand was way too high. Now he's going at Manchester United. Under Amorim, look at that boy now. Look at that player now, bro. Look at him. Cunha. Look at this guy. Cunha's unreal. Look at that guy now, bro. Look at him. People forget that this is the same manager that played Manchester City, who were not good that day, and still lost 3-0. People forget that this is the same manager that went in the Europa League final and got cooked by Tottenham. And that was probably the worst final or cup final I have ever seen. That was the worst cup final I've seen since Liverpool Tottenham Champions League final in 2019. That's how bad it was. And it wasn't even as good of a spectacle of the Champions League final. This game, though, was the worst game I've ever seen. That game was terrible. This is the same manager that lost to Grimsby and scapegoated Kobe Manu and believed that he needs to come out with a tactical board with chips and everything like that to get this team to win the game, bro. And lost the game ultimately. Everything was all out of whack. This is the same guy that said that the darkness has gone and the bright is coming. Good times are coming to Manchester United. That's what he said. Now, I'm an Arsenal fan, and I watched that, and I took that to heart. And I said, listen, I might not like Man U, but I respect this club. I respect this establishment. Man United is a big club, and I love their history. As an outsider, I respect everything about it. But what they've done over the past few years is so out of their identity. You cannot tell me that anybody saw anything with this coach, Ruben Amorim, because they beat Manchester City last season, who were horrific in December. They saw Man United. They saw something in Man United with Ruben Amorim when they beat Arsenal in the FA Cup, right? You can't tell me they see anything in this manager because they beat Liverpool this season, right? Do you understand that those teams that I just mentioned in their given circumstances were not even at their best at all? They were not at their best at all. And considering when they actually played at their best, they got dicked down, Manchester United. Ruben Amorim got dicked down. Does anybody not understand that? Does any Man United fan understand that? Right? Even when Arsenal weren't playing good, the first game of the season, right? Guaranteed people were saying Man United going to win that game. Man United going to win that game. Ruben Amorim going to win that game. Arteta's in the bin, right? Arsenal on a bad day with the flu. I call that the flu game because Zubimendi had a stomach bug. Still won the game 1-0. Still won the game 1-0. Manchester City played them 3-0. Piped up 3-0. They weren't even good. They weren't even good. That was probably like the most rugged City team I've ever seen. Right? Liverpool, shocking this season. Shocking all throughout. Way below their expectations. Way below their standards. Maybe could get top 4. Not even a guarantee at this point. Not even a guarantee. Right? They beat them 2-1. Last season, I don't remember. They lost last season. They lost 3-0. Last season they lost 3-0. I don't remember anybody talking about Liverpool and Man United last year. Right? We always talking about what Ruben Amorim did against the big teams, and that's the thing. The big teams, he'll always step up. He'll always step up against the big teams. Always step up against the big teams because it's Man United. When you have superstar players like Cunha and Sesko and Bruno and Kobe Mainu, and Kobe Mainu's not even starting. When you have Mbeumo, I forgot about Mbeumo. When you have Diallo, when you have players like that, the system was not meant to be a fluid, free-flowing system where this is based on what the manager wants to see. This is not based on that. This is based on the players. This is based on the players doing individual and rising up to the occasion. That's what it was, right? That's what it was. And I still can't understand why anyone would pass up on an opportunity to cash in on £100 million on Bruno Fernandes when you know that the money you can get with that $100 million. You know what you could do with that $100 million if you got Sesko and Mbeumo and Cunha and you're going to get rid of Bruno for $100 million to compensate? Oh, broski. Bro. Big ball drop. Big ball drop. I don't care what anybody says about Bruno. I like Bruno. Bruno's a top player. World class. Definitely world class. But listen, you got to understand where things are coming from. This day and age, you can't play surrounded by one player. The game cannot be surrounded by based on one player. And I'm going to get to this in a future video. I'm going to remind myself about this because people need to understand where the ball is coming from. Manchester City figured it out with Kevin De Bruyne. KDB, right? If KDB, technically, unreal. One of the best players of all time. No doubt, right? Technically, flawless. But physically, he wasn't there. Mentally, you could tell he was fatigued. You could tell from just, he was washed from just a physicality perspective. He just wasn't there, bro. Right? And Manchester City suffered with that whenever he played. Technically, whenever he did do well, City did well. Because, of course, he's an all-action player. He can score, he can create, he can pass, he can do it all. But the game cannot be surrounded or cannot be lived by just one person. Right? There are 11 players on that pitch, bro. There are 11 players on that pitch. And there's 11 good players on the pitch, including someone like Bruno. But you have 10 other players that can do other great things. If you have one player there that's doing all the work, then the flow and the fluidity of the game within the other players are just going to deteriorate. That's just how it is. Remember, Bruno Fernandes wasn't always the best player at Man United from a performance perspective all the other years before, right? Scott McTominay was stepping up to the plate. Didn't get his flowers until he left to go to Napoli. Marcus Rashford, unreal player at Man United. Was he consistent? No. But when he was on it, he was on it. And he was the one that was really stepping up back in 22-23. That January period he had was crazy. He was like the best player in the world. But that's what I'm saying. That is the identity of Man United. Kobe Mainu, when he was playing, he was stepping up. I didn't hear anybody talk about Bruno because it wasn't the Bruno show. This was the show that was run by other players at the club. And that's what it's supposed to be. You can't just have Bruno Fernandes doing all the work because you're going to get exposed sooner or later. And that's why they finished in 16th place. Been saying this for the longest while. People got to understand the football sport. People got to understand what this game is like, bro. It's with 11 players. It's not with 10. It's that simple. right? Listen, Pep Guardiola is a ruthless manager. You really think he wanted to get rid of KDB like that? No. But the truth hurts. It's true, and it hurts, and it's harsh, but the truth hurts. And he's willing to get rid of any player, doesn't matter how good you are, if he knows that it's going to be a long-term detriment to the team. And that's what he did with KDB. With Trent Alexander-Arnold, because I mentioned that Trent and KDB and Bruno and the likes of Cole Palmer, they're all action players. But the difference between why they left is not based on the fact that it was going to be a detriment. A matter of fact, with Trent Alexander-Arnold, he just wanted to leave due to just political. Like, he wanted to go to Real Madrid, right? He wanted to go. He wanted to leave. He wasn't a detriment to Liverpool. I mean, they won the league with him. Now, without someone like Trent Alexander-Arnold, you see the effects of it, right? Now, that could be replicated under Manchester United if Bruno was to leave. I wouldn't be surprised. But you actually have to have other superstar players, enough superstar players that can gel together in order to compensate for someone like Bruno not being in the team, because there's other great players. And I really think that Manchester United could do that. I really think they could. When you have someone like Cunha, when you have someone like Sesko and Buemo and other good players like Lisandro Martinez, who I think doesn't get that much credit. And I think he's playing in the wrong position. He has to play in the 6. He's not a central back. He's not a center back. He's not a central defender, bro. That's just what I think, right? Other good players like Lenny Yoro, other players like Matthias de Ligt, Harry Maguire is still a great player. Lamens is a really good player in the goal, right? They have so many good players at their disposal, but I keep hearing the same thing. Yagate and Luke Shaw. You don't have to play those guys week in, week out. You don't. We're in the January transfer market. You can get whoever you want. Not literally, but you have the money to, right? Man United, step up. But right now, what they need to get, Xavi Hernandez, Cesc Fabregas, and McKenna, the Ipswich coach. I don't know if he's still there, but when he was in the Premier League with Ipswich, he was brilliant, right? Much better, way ahead of the curve. If only he had better players, they would be nowhere near relegation, right? But seriously, like, Manchester United have the tools. They have it. I just think they're afraid to really take that next step. I think they're too comfortable in their shell, and I don't understand why. I really don't, right? Man United need to make decisions, bro. And their decision that they made with Ruben Amorim, all right, cool. Maybe he was a bad look on the club overall with the things that he said. But now it's time to really bring in a top level coach that could really identify with a good setup and a good model and a good philosophy that the players can get around, and not something that is as vague and as theoretical as something like Ruben Amorim, right? And I'm telling you right now, if they dare bring back someone like Oliver Glasner, who does the same theoretical back three, I'm telling you, they are going to be another Ruben Amorim in disguise. It's going to be smoke and mirrors. I don't want that guy anywhere near Man United. We saw what a 3 at the back does, and it doesn't work, right? Get Xavi Hernandez, get Cesc Fabregas, even get Maresca. I'm telling you, if they get Maresca, if they get any of those 4 guys I just mentioned, then they're going to be going places, bro. Herzeller is there as well. I don't know about him. De Zerbi, don't get Jose Mourinho. Please don't get Jose Mourinho. I promise, please do not get him, right? Like, we'll see what happens, bro. But yeah, man, that was a long one. And for Tottenham, I don't even really have to get into them, do they? We already know their shit. They might get sacked too, Thomas Frank. But yeah, that was a long one. Had a lot to get off my chest, bro, because these Manchester United fans and Chelsea fans, it's not a fact that they don't know, and it's not the fact that you don't know if you're watching. It's just a matter of fact, you have to just change your lens, and you really just have to educate yourself on what this sport really is and not what you think it is from an ideal perspective. So, take it easy. Have a good night. I'm about to get some fries, put the fries in the bag, and I'll see y'all later.